10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Discussing everything about the afterlife and spirit world. Coming to you all the way from Ireland, it's Sandie Byrne.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Tipperary for another hour on Life After Life. Thank you for joining me. I hope the new year is going really well. Oh, bless. Thanks for joining in, Christina. Christina's just after moving into a new house and she has no mobile signal there just yet. Okay. Excited for tonight. Nothing was stopping me listening. Well, I hope you're not too cold, Christina, and I hope you got the floor down in your kitchen. We've all been following your journey for the last few weeks. So I'm delighted to hear that you're in your new house. I hope all goes well. Best of luck with it all. So I hope everyone's good. Anybody that's local will have heard me on well, it's not necessarily local to Tipperary, but it is Carlow Kilkenny Radio. I've been on every morning, and I'll be back on tomorrow and on Friday morning to finish off the predictions for 2022. Hey, Emma Griffin. Hey, Ray. Hey, Andrea. Hello, everybody. How are things? So, tonight we are going to try and do some readings for people. So, the reason why I have preferred to do it on here is because I can bring you on and talk to you here, okay? And it's much easier to do the reading than to be trying to filter through all of the comments on Facebook or TikTok or anything like that, okay? So I'm hoping that you'll go easy on me tonight. So some of you are new here. Some of you have been here before. So really on the podcast, I try and concentrate more on the mediumship side of things. Okay. I am a psychic medium. So I do both psychic and medium readings. And just to recap for those of you who haven't, who aren't necessarily aware of the difference. In short, a psychic is someone who reads the energy of the living, and a medium is someone who reads the energy of the dead. Okay, so a psychic would read you, what's going on in life, what's coming up in the future, whereas the medium just talks to people that have passed away. Okay. So the reason I started this podcast was because I feel there aren't enough outlets, especially here in Ireland, where we can talk about spirit, we can talk about the afterlife, we can just share our thoughts and our experiences. But before Christmas, I did the psychic episode. So I did an episode where we talked about some predictions coming up to 2022, and I answered some people's questions. Okay. That's not necessarily going to be the norm, because I do like to keep it mediumship based. So yes, tonight I am going to try. So Kate saying it's the first podcast she's listening to, went to reading before and was amazing. Thank you, Kate. And we'll try and get would love a medium. Michael, I am a medium. Would you love me? I'm assuming you mean readings, okay, a medium reading. But you can love me too. So I hope you can hear me okay, guys. I am using earphones tonight. So if you are going to take a reading, I'm going to invite you to come on live so that we can talk to one another. Don't worry, nobody will be able to see you. We'll just be able to hear your voice. So it doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas or lying on your bed or anything like that. We'll just be able to hear you. Okay, so I will invite you to come live. If you're on the podcast, you should be able to request yourself to come on live. Okay, so if you're taking a reading, but I want you to make sure that it's for you and that you're not going to make it fit. Okay. If you let me know, read my sister Tom. Oh, that's Tom. Tom, your sister came through before. Am I thinking of the right person? Suzanne here took me a bit to get here. Someone who's as technophobic as I am, I love to see it because my kids think I'm, that I grew up on the ark. Really and truly. So obviously, I can't guarantee that we're going to get anybody in particular through. We're going to try our best. and we're going to see what happens. Is that okay? So, just for those people who haven't heard me read before, just very quickly, I am a psychic medium, obviously, but I'm both clairvoyant and clairsentience. Okay, clairsentient. Sentient, I beg your pardon. So, what that means is that I see spirit and I feel the energy of spirit. Okay, so I connect in two different ways. So that doesn't necessarily mean that every spirit appears in front of me and talks to me like, we do with each other. Spirit communicate in different ways, and it's a bit like I can't remember what you call it. Where they'd telepathy. Okay, so where they'd put a vision into your mind, a picture, a video clip, or something like this, and then I feel a lot of stuff from them too. Obviously, emotion, sometimes as they're connecting, maybe some pain or discomfort, depending on how they died, and feel different scenarios. It's hard to explain, but just so you're aware of the way that I do connect. So it's important, I suppose, that I make this clear at the beginning of every session because, you could be waiting for somebody to come through. But if you think logically about the person that you're hoping to connect with, if they were a shy person and wouldn't necessarily have come through in front of all these people that are live, well, if they wouldn't have come on and spoken on a show like this, well, they're hardly going to do it, just because, um, you know, they're past. They don't necessarily become courageous or become outspoken or anything like that. Okay. So it's all to do with how, how they would interact with people. Okay. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so let me just have a quick sup, and I have a big bottle of drink here beside me. One thing that I always tell I call them baby mediums, the people that do the mediumship programs, is always have a drink beside you, a glass of water or something. I have orange and pineapple in my waddy, nothing alcoholic at all. But mediumship is something that's very draining, you know. And so you never would combine, even though I don't drink alcohol myself, you never would combine mediumship with alcohol, but you always have to keep yourself very hydrated. Okay. So just let me have a quick. Joanne is drinking tea. Cheers, Joanne. And I bought myself some tea recently. I can't remember. It was one of those herbal type teas. Oh my gosh, it was like drinking phlegm. I'm really just, unless it's lion's tea, I just can't drink it. So, my first time listening to a podcast, what a better way than hearing a message. Well, let's see what happens, Trace. Okay. So I do, and for the last 30 or 40 seconds or so, I have the energy of a gentleman here with me. Okay. I feel like he's their father or grandfather energy, and I feel that he wasn't particularly elderly when he passed, but he would have been maybe around 72 or 73 years old. Yes, Avian. Sorry, Avian's laughing at my description of the tea. It was like drinking a cup of phlegm. It was. So this is either somebody's father or grandfather. Okay, he was about 72 or 73 years old. And I'm also aware of the fact that there is a great tightness in my lungs. Okay, so I feel that there would have been a problem with this man breathing towards the end of his life. Now, that said, I don't feel that this man was necessarily sick for a long period of time. Okay. He would have only, I think, been restricted, I suppose, in his everyday activities for maybe the last maybe 3 or 4 months. Okay. I'm also aware that this man wore a hat. Okay. He's wearing a hat, and I don't want to say necessarily it's a trilby style hat, but the hats that gentlemen wear, not the flat ones, but one with a rim on it. Okay. I honestly don't know what you'd call those hats, but they're quite old. And I definitely want to say that this man, like the picture that I'm kind of getting of him, I want to say that it's quite old fashioned. I may even be going back to maybe the 70s or 80s. And, I see a picture of him, and it's like he's leaning on the back of a chair, but it's in a kitchen. Yes, Kelly, like the old farmer style hat. Do you know the ones I'm talking about that the men would wear around out in the yard and stuff like that? And he's leaning kind of on the back of a chair, but I'm aware like of the old-fashioned wallpaper and all of that in the background. So it is going back a few years. So he may well be a granddad figure as opposed to a father figure. Okay. Now, and I should say that in the picture, he is younger than he was when he passed. Okay. But it is a picture that I feel somebody has been looking at recently. Now he is very traditional. He's got trousers on and he's got shirt sleeves, but the shirt sleeves are rolled up. Okay, so he's not like formal with a tie and a jacket and that, but he would have worn these clothes around. Now, I also want to say with this man that even though I do feel like a tightness across my chest, like there was an issue breathing, I'm also aware that there may have been an underlying heart condition with this man. Okay, because all of a sudden I feel like there is something in the left side of my chest, which obviously we know the heart is there. Um, Now I'm only seeing the picture of him as a younger man, and I don't see a moustache. Somebody's asking, has he got a tash? In this particular picture, I don't see a moustache, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't have had one in later life. I don't see a picture of him just as he looked as he passed just yet. But I want to laugh as well because all of a sudden he does show me in himself in a very old-fashioned shirt. Okay, like one from the 70s or something with a very groovy pattern on it. And he's laughing because, again, I want to say that somebody's been going through photos recently, and I'm aware that they've been, maybe laughing at the style or the decor or something like that. Now, I know a lot of us would go through photos over Christmas and stuff like that. So a lot of us may have been going through some old family photos. But does this sound familiar to anybody? And we have a lot of people on here, okay, tuning in. So it's either a father or a grandfather figure, okay, relating to me, but not 100% sure if it my granddad stepping forward. Well, can you take all of the information that I've given you, Kelly? He was 72 or 73 years old. He really struggled with breathing at the end, but I'm aware that there was an underlying heart condition. Ah, okay. So your granddad passed away in 1971. Emily, I don't want to go back that far. Okay. While I get that the picture was quite some time ago, I still feel like he's only passed within the last maybe 7, 8, 9 years. Okay. So he's not gone that long. Okay. So the lady above that said, Kelly, that it could be your granddad. Everything accurate, and he would have been 80s, not 70s. That's the only thing that's off. And I can be off on the age. If everything else, do you want to come on? Just on the right, and everything's accurate with somebody else. Okay. So both of you request to come on, and we'll go a little bit deeper into this. But when I hear your voices, it will become very obvious who it's for. Okay, so plug in your earphones and do come on, and we can go a little bit deeper into this energy. How do I request? So if you're on the app, over on the right hand side, there should be somewhere to request. I should know how to ask you to come on. Let me see. Okay, so I'm inviting you as a speaker. So you should be able to accept that and come on. Okay, so it says you're a speaker now. So Kelly,
Hi.
can you hear?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Now,
Good.
there was somebody else that said that they could take all the information as well. And the name is YDME. And there, they're coming. Okay. So let's see. What part of the country are you in, Kelly?
I'm in Offaly at the
I
minute,
away from me.
in Edenderry, middle of nowhere.
Edenderry. I know it well.
I met
Hello,
yourself.
can you met me before, did you? Did you have
Yeah,
a reading or was it
no,
at an
it was
event?
a fundraiser in Edenderry. It was only just before COVID had hit.
That's right, at the community or the parish centre in the centre of town.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Well, thank you for joining in.
No
So
problem.
this other person, we haven't got
Hello.
your real name. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I sure can. What's your name?
Rosie.
Hey, Rosie, and where are you calling from? The UK?
Wales.
Ah, over in Wales. You're not too far away.
No.
Okay, so both of you can take all of this information with regards to this man. So I wanted to be able to hear your voices because that does allow me to to delve a little bit deeper into this, okay? And even as we're talking, okay, just had somebody else come on there. Mary, are you able to take some of this information as well? Mary, hello? Okay, I'm not sure Mary meant to speak, so I'm just going to put you on mute for a minute, Mary. You can unmute yourself if you're ready to speak. So even while I was talking to you both there, I'm getting an awful like sore throat kind of pain. Okay, I promise it's not because I've been working all day, but this may be a sign that one of you maybe recently has had a sore throat, or there's been some issues. Maybe you suffer with tonsillitis. Maybe you've had COVID. I don't know. Is that a symptom of it? But Mary, can you take some of this information that we were talking about this gentleman?
Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Mary, are you able to take some of this information?
No.
That's okay. I'm going to mute you so while we do this reading, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I want to get this done first. There is a bit of an echo. Oh, Christina, yeah, I think Mary wasn't using earphones. That's fine. Okay, so with one of you, either Kelly or I've completely forgot Rosie. Okay,
Rosie, yeah.
Has one of you had a sore throat just recently?
I've been really poorly over Christmas.
That's Rosie, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And Kelly, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, now a few of us in my family would have had sore throats and stuff, but it wouldn't have been anything serious.
No, that's fine. And I'm not being told it's serious. He just makes me feel it, okay, as you're talking, okay? So this is like his way of saying, okay, well, I'm aware that you've been sick. I'm aware that, somebody's, you've had sore throats or whatever. Okay, so that's relevant to both of you also. Okay, so bear with me. Okay. I know this is a common name. Okay, so bear with me. And I don't believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that it's his name, because he tells me that there's something going on around a Mike or a Mikey. Okay, so is there a Michael in either of your families? But
That's my
as well
dad.
as his
Sorry, I cut
Mikey's
across you
dad.
there.
No, absolutely fine. That's what I want to know. And without telling us any details, for this man to come through and tell me that there's something going on around him at the moment, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Rosie?
No, there's no Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's
Look,
fine,
stay
don't worry.
on. Okay. If something else makes sense, do unmute yourself and come back in. But we
Okay.
may be with Kelly because this man may be Kelly, were you thinking of your father's father?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to mute you for the minute, Rosie, but please do stay with us. Okay. Okay, so thanks for coming on, Kelly. It really makes a difference
Thanks
to
a million.
actually get the sound of your voice, okay, because it helps me to make a connection. And do you remember your granddad?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. And your nan is still here, isn't she?
No, unfortunately, my nan would have passed.
Okay. Did she have a stroke?
No, now I'm not entirely sure if anything along them lines would have happened near the end, but as far as I know, might not have been. I'm not sure now. I could be wrong.
No, that's okay. I tell you, just even as I was kind of connecting in with you there and bringing him back forward, he made me aware that there was a lady here that he'd left behind. Okay, so I was just kind of assuming, I'll be honest, that maybe your grandmother, but he was telling me that this lady was someone who suffered, and I feel that there would have been a stroke, a mini stroke, something like this with her. Okay, so she would have been incapacitated. So maybe Nan just passed after Granddad.
Yeah, she'd only passed about, I think it was a year after.
Oh, God love her. So you lost the two of them very, very close together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to mention that he was aware of the health issues that were going on around her. Okay. And this is just more evidence that he didn't just leave and fall into a black abyss somewhere. Okay. That he was actually, aware of what was going on for the family here.
Yeah.
Okay. You also have a brother, Kelly, don't you?
I do.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because your granddad's actually quite funny, and I feel that there would have
he's
been
hilarious.
a lot of teasing. Yeah, I think there would have been a lot of teasing about your brother, okay?
Yeah.
And this is the way he gives it to me. Now, we don't need to know the details, just yes or no if it makes sense to you, because I don't want you to have to feel you have to say anything personal on here.
No problem.
But he makes me feel like your brother almost has whiplash because he's changed his mind on so many things, okay? So he
Yes.
seems to be somebody, maybe he has one idea today and a different idea tomorrow. And he
Yeah.
says he's almost got whiplash that he changes direction so many times. But he says he's got a great energy about him. And he also says that young man needs to believe in himself a little bit more and
Yeah.
stop talking himself out of things. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it your brother that drives the blue car? He keeps showing me a blue car. And I feel like there's been a lot of trouble with this car.
No, it wouldn't be blue now, but there has been trouble with my brother's car.
Okay. So let me see, because he's showing me, and I might be seeing one thing and getting the information about something different. So the car trouble relates to your brother. But if I'm to say to you, and I wish I was better with cars, but if I was to say to you that I keep seeing a small, light blue, not quite sky blue, but that kind of blue
Yeah.
car, and it's a hatchback, and it almost looks like a car from maybe the 1970s or the 1980s. Would you know if your granddad had had a car like this at some stage?
Oh, I wouldn't have a clue now, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, that's
Sorry
something you
now.
can check with your dad. No,
Yeah, I
don't
will.
apologize at all. That's something you can check with your dad. Okay. And I'm not even sure if you know what I mean by an old-fashioned car, but cars were very different back then.
Oh,
they
no,
had
I know what
back
you mean.
rubber bumpers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah, so he's definitely shown me a picture of an older style car, so I get the impression that maybe he actually drove this car himself. Now, he definitely he is like, I just want to laugh, and I know you can't see me, but I just have this consistent smile on my face at the same time. Now, Kelly, I know that you've been unwell, maybe you've had a dose of COVID or flu or whatever, but he tells me that you've been having maybe some headaches or some migraines as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, he's very practical. He tells me to tell you to get your eyes checked. Okay. Now, unless Granddad was a doctor when he was alive, he hasn't become a doctor or
No.
attained a medical degree in the spirit world.
No.
But I think that's a very logical conclusion that some of the older people would have come to. Sure, go and get your eyes checked to make sure
Yeah.
you go to bed early, But the point is that he's aware that you've been suffering like this. And
Good.
that tells me that he's spent time around you and in your energy. Okay.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Oh, bless him. So let me just see before I move on from him. Oh God, he's such a nice man. Kelly, I don't know, would you know this now? Maybe you need to check this with your dad. I'm kind of aware of a prayer that your granddad would have carried with him. Okay, so maybe he had one of those prayer cards in his wallet, like some people would carry around. But it feels to me like there was a particular prayer that he had great faith in and that he would have kept with him. Okay. And he says, and it's pretty tongue in cheek, he's not going to force anything on you, but he said it would do you no harm to say this every now and then.
Grand.
Okay.
I'll definitely pass that on to Dad.
Just feel like he had a great belief, okay? Not one that he'd shove in anybody's face.
Yeah.
But he had his own belief underneath, okay? And I know he says it to you, but I do think that in some way that, I don't know, what do I want to call it, stress levels, but I definitely feel like there's your dad's been worrying about a lot recently.
Yeah.
And it's like your granddad is saying, tell him the worrying won't help. It's the action that will help. Okay. So sitting down worrying about stuff won't take it away. And I know he's very pragmatic. I'm sure if Dad was here, he'd probably have something different to say to him. But the best thing maybe that you can tell your dad is that his dad is around him.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing as well because I'm getting the impression that did somebody bring a new dog in? I just get the feeling that there's a dog that's been annoying your dad. but that he's grown fonder of him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a dog, and you'd swear my dad loves the dog more than he loves me at this stage.
Bless him. But I get the impression that at first he was maybe a little annoyed with this thing under his feet, but that
Yeah.
now he's like, taking a complete shine to this little dog.
Yeah.
Okay. And your granddad laughs and he said, that's just so typical of him.
Yeah.
He gets annoyed every time a change is suggested. He said he gets annoyed,
Yeah.
but then it's the best decision ever, he said. So he said, he will be fine, not to worry.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad.
And he's blowing you kisses.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I hope that helps, Kelly. And thank you so much for coming on live. You're
It
great.
really did.
to
Thanks a
join in.
million for that. I really
No
appreciate
problem at all.
it.
Thanks,
you.
Kelly. And guys, can I just say, I see Megan Woodlock is on here. Thanks for joining in, Megan. And I haven't heard from you, Megan. You won. I did a competition before Christmas and Megan won a tarot card reading. And I've been waiting for you to contact me. So just as I see your name there, you might just send me a message and we can make an appointment for that, Megan. Okay. Oh my goodness. So Miriam is listening in and she said she's just opened her door 3 times because she could hear a dog scratching at the door. Nothing here when she opened it. Wow. Isn't that amazing? And the very first time that even, oh, you're more than welcome, Megan. Yeah, do send me a message. The very first time I connected with an animal in the spirit world was I was doing a house party for someone. Gosh, it was a few years ago now. And I was in this room upstairs. So one by one, people came up for a reading. And this lady came up and she sat down with me. And next thing I heard this dog scratching at the door. And I said to her, is that your dog? And she was like, what dog? And I said, can you not hear the dog scratching at the door? And she looked at me and the color drained from her face. And I opened the door and this little dog came in and sat down beside me. And I could see the dog so clearly. And she was like, there's no dog there. And I was like, yeah, there is. And I was describing the dog to her. And as it turned out, she'd come to connect with her dog. And her dog had passed maybe about 8 weeks beforehand. And she had his ashes at home on her mantelpiece. So it was so lovely. And, if you'd asked me before that, I would have said, God, no, who'd want to come and speak to an animal? But, it's happened a lot, even at live shows where I've been on the stage. You can see I can see like little pets sitting at the feet of their owners in the audience. And, they're coming through and it's beautiful because, we have some of the closest relationships with our animals. Joanne's saying, I connected with her golden retriever that passed unexpectedly, brought me so much comfort. Oh, thank you so much, Joanne, for that. It's lovely to hear back, and readings can bring comfort. I got a lovely text from somebody the other day, so I'm going to post it on my page. Are they around us all the time, Sandie? No, you wouldn't want someone around you all the time, Ray, I'm sure. Okay. They do have other things to do in the spirit world, but they know when we need them. They know when we're thinking of them, and they're the times where they come and visit. And don't forget, there's also going to be times where they're lonely and they want to come and visit us too. So they can come and visit whenever they want, but they do have other stuff that they need to do in the spirit world as well. So I'm just going to have another drink and we will try this again. Okay. I'm sorry, me drinking, it does not make for good listening, but it has to be done. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Lots of tennis balls to chase up there at the Rainbow Bridge. I know. And I'm an awful softie because we lost our dog. Oh gosh, we lost him before Christmas 2020. And we buried him with all his toys and his favorite blanket and everything, with the idea that he'd take them with him, the poor little pet. Okay, guys. So I'm just kind of looking at the names here. I actually feel like there's a lady coming through. Okay, she's I feel like she's a little bit too young to be in spirit. Now, I would say this lady is about 53 years old. I keep getting the number 53, 53, 53. Okay, so this lady was likely only in her 50s when she passed. I do feel like there was an underlying condition for her, but she does tell me that it all happened very, very quickly around her. Okay. So her health went downhill very quickly. She keeps showing me her hair because she wants us to know that her hair is done nice. And I feel like, maybe she was ill at the end and she couldn't get her hair done or whatever, and she's very particular about her hair. Okay. Maggie saying it sounds like, Maggie, has your mum passed? Wasn't she in a hospice just last week? Has she just passed Saturday afternoon? Oh, Maggie, I am so sorry to hear that, because I remember you being here last week and telling us that you were in the hospice with your mum. I'm really, really sorry. And for you to be here as well, we're very honoured that you took the time to join us, because this is really a hard time for you and your family, and for your mom too. So let's see. I can't guarantee it is your mom, but please listen in and we'll try and get more from her. Okay. But yes, this lady is telling me that she's had her hair done and she looks a bit more like herself. Okay. Now, Maggie, I know it was because you told me that Mam was in a hospice. It was probably easy for me to guess that Mam would have had some form of cancer. But if I was to say to you that I feel it where I kind of bend over in my middle, so I'm unsure, do I want to say it's in my lungs or it's in my stomach? It's right across my middle there. Okay. Would it have been in her pancreas or anywhere? It was in her lungs. So deep down in the lungs. Okay. So I'm kind of getting like a pain, like an elastic band, like it's around my middle and it's getting tighter and tighter, Maggie. That's exactly the way it feels with this lady. And your mum was only in her 50s, Maggie, was she? Do you want to come on live and we can chat and see if this is your mum? Okay. Let me see if I can invite you on. I'm getting used to this finally. And, maybe you're not ready to talk, and that would be absolutely fine too. Hey, Maggie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
We sure can. Where are you calling in from, Maggie?
Kerry.
You're in Kerry. I'm so sorry to hear about your mum. Was mum only 53?
No, she was
She was.
58.
Okay. Was she diagnosed in her earlier 50s then?
Yeah, she was diagnosed about a year and a half ago with lung cancer, and she went into remission just the summer, just gone, 21. And
Oh,
unfortunately, 2 tumours formed on her brain in October. And when they operated, she was 2 weeks afterwards and got an infection. So she passed peacefully, though, last Saturday afternoon.
yeah.
So
And you were with her.
I was with her.
So let's see. Look, everybody here is sending you their condolences. Please don't try and talk too much, okay? So I'm going to see, and just say yes or no, okay? Don't feel like you have to explain anything to us if this makes sense, okay? Have you been wearing a cardigan or a jacket that belonged to your mum?
My sister wore my mum's jacket to the funeral.
Okay. God bless
and the
her.
wake.
Okay. So, so I should explain to people, okay, because this is very soon and I would never suggest, I know you haven't, Maggie, I'm not having a go, but when people ring up to inquire about readings, I would never suggest to someone that they would come for a reading so soon. It just so happens that Maggie has been on with me for every episode of this. So I think her mother is well aware that she would be here tonight. So as a rule of thumb, a month in Earth time is like a day in spirit time. Okay, so for Mam, it's only some hours since she passed, and it's also like she's landed somewhere where nobody speaks English, so there's going to be a kind of a language barrier maybe for the first little while.
Yeah.
So when she's telling me my daughter's wearing she's showing me something, okay, rather than saying it into my ear, but my daughter's either wearing my cardigan or my jacket, I'm assuming she's talking about you, but it turns out it's your sister. So bear with me on these little language kind of things for the early days. And I do want to say as well, she talks about her daughter also, so this may be your sister. Was there a photo taken of your sister throughout, this funeral process or the last few days, and you could actually think that it was your mother in the picture?
Yeah, my my daughter has a Polaroid camera. Santa got her. And at the house, she was going around taking photographs of people, very innocently. It was her way of dealing with
Of
things.
course.
And there was a look my sister gave that we all turned around and said, Jesus Christ, you're fucking ma'am there. Like, do you know?
Yeah.
It was a
So
look
Mam's
that my
seen this.
ma'am would give.
Oh,
Yeah.
bless. So Mam's reason in acknowledging this for you is because she wants you to know that she's been around, that she hasn't left. Okay. She's not,
Yeah.
gone off
No.
somewhere and ignoring
Yeah.
everybody. She's been around for her funeral. She's been listening to what people
Yeah.
have been saying about her. Okay.
Yeah.
Has your
Actually,
dad been
something funny happened at her funeral yesterday.
well?
The singer that I got on the way to the funeral, I asked my mom, because I believe in signs from loved ones, and I just asked, Ma'am, will you please come as a butterfly, just to know that, you're around and
Yeah, of course.
everything. Last night I got a message from the singer, and she said, I don't know if you believe in these things, but when the priest was doing the incense on the coffin, this butterfly appeared out of nowhere. Now she was high up, in a church, they're high up, the singers and the choir,
Yes.
and she said the butterfly sat on the balcony and watched ye all leave the church. And I went,
Oh,
that
I
was ma'am.
love it. I
That was ma'am.
absolutely love that. It was
Yeah.
her way of it. And
Yeah.
you asked, and guys, listen to what
And I
Maggie's
asked,
saying, because she was very specific about the sign she asked her ma'am for. She said, I want to see a butterfly. Don't be shy in telling them what you want to see. Okay? Because they can only give you the sign if you're expecting it. Okay? And this butterfly was what Maggie had asked for. I was going to ask as well, Maggie, has your daddy been limping? Has he twisted his ankle or something?
No, but our dog, our family dog, who's close to Mam, he would be kind of like a father figure though, but unfortunately, he's been quite sick. Mum didn't know because she'd been in the hospice, and he was Mum's dog, but he actually has a tumour in his spine, and I only saw him yesterday at the house, and the poor creature, like, it's old age now and everything with him, but he's
Oh, the
lost
poor
without
little
Mam, and he
bit.
doesn't understand why Mam's not home, but he's limping. But my stepdad,
Okay.
he kind of would have a limp, but no, the minute you said it, I was like, no, that's Trooper. That's Trooper
The
she's
dog.
talking about,
Okay.
because
So I'm just
Trooper was her dog,
misunderstanding
like.
when I'm
Yeah,
thinking
no,
she's saying
yeah.
dad and she's saying dog. Yeah. But I am aware that she's talking about that she's aware of someone, limping. And,
Yeah.
like, I never saw our dog as a dog. I don't look at our dog and see a dog.
No.
I see a family member,
Yeah.
It's so funny
Yeah,
the way I never
exactly
owned a
here.
dog
Yeah.
before. Okay, Pet. Now who is the one that's suffering a lot with the high blood pressure?
That's me.
Somebody here, and I feel it's male.
That's me, and that's my stepdad. My stepdad.
Your stepdad.
He's had an
Okay.
awful lot of problems. Yeah.
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 She said, this person needs to go easy on themselves because they're putting themselves under far too much pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
And she just feels it. And she kind of gives it to me. So maybe he suffers from his stomach a little bit as well. She kind of gives it to me a little bit like heartburn.
Yes. Yeah, he's quite a sensitive stomach, and we kind of joked about it, but
good.
I think there's actually more of an underlining condition there, but because of Mom, that kind of
he
took
never looked
over,
into it.
like. Yeah.
Well, tell him not to
Yeah.
put these things
Yeah.
on the long finger, okay?
No,
Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but he just needs to get it looked at. Okay, ma'am. I know it's very early days for her, and I won't keep her too long. But okay, there's another lady in spirit with her. Her mother also passed quite young, didn't she, Maggie?
She kind of would have. She was late 70s. I know that's still old, but still young. She would have been late 70s.
Okay, well,
Nana
that's not the
passed.
picture I'm getting of this lady, okay? So would you have a picture of your nan, okay, where she would have been maybe only in her early 60s, okay, and she's got like an apron on, but she's standing by some kind of a hedgerow or a bush or something like this?
Not that I can think of now, off the top of my head.
Okay.
I can't. There's
Will
nothing
just bear
standing out.
that in mind, okay? Because,
I will.
over the coming
I will.
weeks, hopefully you'll be going through some old photos and you may come across this, okay? And this is the way I'm seeing your nan. So I'm seeing her maybe younger than she was when she passed. Because initially, when this person came in, I thought, oh my God, is that your sister? I was going saying to your mother. And she said, no, it's my mum. Okay. And there's a real feeling here that she's been mollycoddled. Okay. So she's been well looked after in the spirit world.
Yeah.
There's some joke as well around a headscarf. I don't know. I don't think you're old enough to remember when women used to wear headscarves. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And she laughs and she shows me
Yeah.
herself with a headscarf on. So I know that there's some joke around it that makes some sense to you anyway, because you're laughing.
Yeah.
I won't
yeah.
keep her too long because I don't think we're going to get much more that's going to make too much sense just yet.
Yeah.
But suffice to say that she just wanted to come through at this point to let you know that she's made it there. Okay. That she's still around visiting you, but she's also with her mum. Okay. So this is really important that you know that she's been well looked after. I just want to say, and ma'am laughs when she says it, so it's a bit tongue in cheek. Did somebody wear a kind of a greyish or smoky coloured skirt rather than a black skirt to the funeral? She's shown me a lady. I want to call it charcoal.
I
There you
think,
go. I want to call it.
yeah, I think there was someone. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
ma'am is kind of saying, is that the best you could do? But she says it tongue in cheek. She's not actually angry, okay?
Yeah.
But she just said, is that the
Yeah.
best you
No,
could
there
do?
was someone, yeah. And I actually was saying, at the funeral home, I had said to my brother and my sister-in-law, don't you think she had something better now in the wardrobe to be wearing like this,
Oh, isn't that
That's not
so
respectful.
funny? So your mother
So
heard
when
you
you
make
said
a
it,
comment. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So she was definitely there with you, okay, trying to give you as much support as she could, okay? And,
yeah,
the funny thing is that even though I felt a tightness, I didn't feel any pain. So she was well,
yeah, no,
medicated and looked after
she's,
at the
she
end of
was.
life.
The hospice they were amazing. They're absolute
Aren't they
angels in there,
amazing?
like they really
Yeah.
are. They really are.
It's like a vocation, I think, to
So
work in one of those places. I have to be
I
fair.
think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. But look, it's so soon, Maggie. Thank you so much both for tuning
I
in
know.
after the week you've had and
Thank you.
for coming on and taking that message from your mum. Okay.
No,
And look
thank you,
out for her.
Sandy.
She'll be around. And as she gets more strength, she'll also be able to talk to you more. Have you got some of her hair in your purse?
I think my sister does, not me. No, my sister.
Your sister has.
I
Okay, that's
think
fine.
she does.
She just
Yeah,
showed me
yeah,
like some hair in a purse. And she says, don't leave it in there for too long or it'll be gone, that kind of way. So Mam's
yeah,
very
yeah.
aware, and she's good crack. Okay.
She
So
is.
remember
She
her as
really
she
is.
was. Yeah. I'm so
I
sorry for
will.
your loss,
And
Pet. Take
thank
care.
you, and thank
Talk
you,
soon.
Sandy. Thank
No
you.
problem at all. You're more
Bye.
than welcome. Take care. Bye. Oh gosh, to come on and isn't it lovely? And I have connected with people, soon after passing. It is totally 100% possible, but it's just not something that I mean, as I say, I have no problem with Maggie coming on here because she's on every single week. God bless her. And she did tell us last week that she was in the hospice with her mum. So in that regard, I would not say anything about her. But if someone rang me asking me when they could come for a reading, I'd always say to them to leave at least 3 months, okay? Because they have to grieve as well, and we have to accept, I suppose, that they're gone. There's a lot of healing to do after you lose someone. Oh, Megan, you're expecting. Congratulations. Oh, you poor pet. You're so welcome, Maggie, and thank you for joining. I hope it helps in some little way. Now, I'm aware that there's a lot more people that are waiting. Obviously, I can't guarantee anyone in particular, but we'll try and see what we can do. Oh, okay. Oh, Therese, thank you for saying so. I'm no more amazing than the next person. But it is nice when you can give someone that kind of message. Is there a reason why spirits around me won't come through shy? Maybe. Well, you know if they were shy. I mean, you know if you have a loved one in spirit that would have been very shy, and if they were very shy, you know that there's, you know, that you would have no reason to expect that they would come through like this, okay, in front of other people, or you know, at an event where there's a medium on stage. So you know, if there is someone shy that you're hoping to connect with, obviously your best bet would be to have a personal reading. It needn't be from me, it can be from any medium, okay? But you know, if there is someone that's shy, because don't forget, if you have a loved one who was shy in life, they don't change their personality because they've passed. And anyway, if I connected with them and said, "Oh God, they're coming through here, awful chatty," you turn around and say, "Well, you know, that's wrong. That's not for me." Okay, so they have to come through in a way that you'll recognize them. Okay, and if that's being shy, well, then unfortunately, that's just the way of life, you know. Um, so yeah, so let's see if we can connect with somebody else. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear meowing. It's my cat, I think, at the door. The poor little man. I'll let him out shortly. We don't have much time left. Okay. Okay, I want to talk about somebody much younger altogether. Okay, so I have a woman here. Now, I would say that this lady is maybe only early to mid 20s. I want to say she's somewhere around 23 or 24 years old. Okay, and I know that she left this life very suddenly, and I know that it was very traumatic. Okay, and I'll be totally honest, I'm feeling that this may have been a suicide. Okay. Susan's already saying yes. Oh, Susan. Or Shannon. Okay. Um, Now, look, I'm just trying to get over the initial pain and trauma here. And she just makes it very hard for me to speak and to breathe and all that kind of stuff. So that might make sense to somebody with regards to the circumstances of her passing. But I do want to say that I think that this is somebody that everybody would have been extremely surprised. You know, sometimes you know, someone leaves in this way and you think, well, you know, they were suffering for a while or they had a lot going on. But with this girl, I feel that she had a lot that she kept hidden, you know, and that she kept you know, to herself, not wanting to worry everybody around her, should I say. Okay. So Shannon's saying it could be her sister. Emily is saying that she knows somebody. Okay, so let's see, Shannon. Do you want to come on and talk, Shannon? If your sister was only this young and she left by suicide, and also if you know you can remember a time where your sister would have had a very happy-go-lucky demeanor about her, and that she would have always been very mindful of. Oh, you're on already, Shannon. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can. Where are you calling from?
Tipperary,
Oh, what part of Tip?
Carrick-on-Shore.
Ah, you're not too far away from me,
Yeah.
Greta. Okay, so this young woman, and obviously we're all very sorry to hear that your sister has passed, okay, and under these tragic circumstances.
Yeah.
The first thing that she makes me feel, obviously it's the tragedy and the suddenness of her passing, but she also makes me feel like I'm freezing cold, okay? So is her anniversary in the winter time?
No, August.
August time, okay. But she makes me feel like I'm literally shivering, okay? So I don't know. I mean, does that make any sense to you with regards to, was it a particularly cold night? Was she out in the rain or something like this? Okay. And why? I want to say that she'd ran away. It doesn't necessarily make sense that she'd ran away at her age, but it's like that she had excused herself from a particularly intense situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get the impression with her that she had wandered for a while. Do you know someone who's almost like thinking everything over in their mind?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, um, okay, I'm sure, I mean, I can't imagine what your whole family has been through, but I feel like I need to say that to your mother that it's not her fault. Okay.
Okay.
It's like she's saying that, that your mother's to stop blaming herself, or she's to stop thinking that this is because of her. Okay. So I'd imagine your mother is dealing with a lot of grief. Is your sister only passed in the last kind of 4 or 5 years?
Um, it's been about 7 years, 8 years.
Okay. And has something changed for your mum? Because when she's talking about your mum, she makes me feel that a lot of changes have happened in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, well, you see, we have different mothers, so she might be talking about her mum.
Okay. And would you be like familiar with her mum, or even just aware that she's taken a lot of this on her own shoulders?
Yeah, yeah. See, she lived in Spain, and her mum lives in Spain now. That's why it made sense when you said she was kind of running away, because she kind of ran away from England and stuff, to go there.
God love her. Oh, God bless her. The poor little pet. Okay, so I know her mother obviously lives a long way away, but she's definitely talking that you need to let her know that she's to stop blaming herself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's coming out very, very strongly with her. Did she have a little boy of her own?
No, she had 3 girls.
3 girls. Okay, so who has the little boy that would
Me.
have been quite young? Yeah, at the time of her passing, would he have been quite young?
No, he wasn't born then.
I wonder have we got the right connection.
Yeah, it might be the wrong person.
Let me see. Let me get something else from her. And guys, if you're here and you can take some of this information, please do let me know, because she's definitely shown me a young boy. Okay, great. Now, I know you're telling me that they lived in Spain, but I keep wanting to talk about sitting beside water. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not very familiar. I've been to Mallorca and places like that, but not mainland Spain. So where she lived wouldn't have been very far from water, and I feel like this is somewhere that she used to go to clear her head.
Mm.
Okay. Um. Now there's something else about this. Shannon, did she make you aware at all that something traumatic had happened to her?
Um,
I don't
no.
want to go obviously into this. Okay, so Kate, do you want to come on, Kate? Because Kate is saying that a lot
Yeah.
of this makes sense with her. So we
Okay.
might be trying to make it fit for you. Let me
Okay.
see if we can bring Kate on. The water, the coldness makes a lot of sense, the age and the years of passing. Okay, can't talk, she has no mic. Okay. Does everything that we've said, Kate, make sense to you? So far, yes. Okay. So maybe we're not with your sister Shannon. And look, I really appreciate you coming on, but it just felt like, when we started talking about a few things there, it wasn't making sense.
Yeah.
So I do hate to get your hopes up and then leave you, but I think if it's not making sense, there's no point.
Oh, that's okay. I'd
Okay.
rather someone come on and it makes sense for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but do
That's
stay with
okay.
us, because hopefully maybe at some point your sister will come through.
Yeah.
No, I know, Kate, that you can't come on, so I'll just stay with it for a minute, but I won't stay on too long. Okay. No, don't be sorry at all. If you haven't got a mic, you haven't got a mic. You can't manufacture one while we're on air, so don't at all apologize. Um, so does it make sense to you, Kate? And I don't want to go into details, but it feels to me like that she used to go down by the water in order to clear her mind, but that someone I just feel like there was some kind of confrontation, like she met someone down there, or someone's spoiled that piece for her. Okay. So I don't need to know the details of that, but does that make sense to you? Because I'm feeling like she felt like this was traumatic. Okay. And almost, yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, pet. Okay. She's talking again about her mother, Kate. So you must be you know, maybe familiar with her mum. In we were talking to Shannon there, and obviously she wasn't too au fait with this girl's mother. But I do want to say to you that I don't know you're related on her dad's side. Okay. Um, and I'll be honest because I'm not a doctor, but I have a pain in my heart. But I want to say it's more a broken heart than actually a heart condition. But I feel that she's telling me that her mother's heart isn't healing. Okay. And I feel like, well, what she's trying to tell me is that she's guilty. She's feeling guilty because she really didn't think about the effect that her passing would have. And for some reason, she didn't think that she would be mourned. Okay. God love her. So to see this now is making her feel very guilty. But at the same time, I'm telling her in my head that, she made the decision and, regretting it isn't going to change it. She needs to let go of the guilt in order to move on. Kate, I'm also getting the impression that she had a brother. Okay, so I know you're connected to her dad's side, so you must have a cousin there as well who's a male. But I'm also feeling like there's this brother energy for her who's still very angry with somebody. Okay. Like, I don't want to say he blames, well, he may be blaming somebody, okay, for not treating her right or for pushing her to this point. Okay. Um, I don't think so. And I have to say that I do. Okay. So she doesn't have a brother. No, 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 that's fine. And I could be wrong too. But she's very adamant about this, that there is a male that she would consider as a brother figure. So it's either her own brother or a friend that would have been like a brother. A nephew. Well, only if her nephew is grown up, Kate, because this is somebody that's a grown up. And I feel that it's somebody that is angry with somebody because, as I said, that he feels that she was pushed to this point by somebody and he cannot forgive them. Okay. But this girl in spirit is very logical and she's very like, well, there's two sides to everything. Okay. Emily Nolan is saying that she thinks it's my cousin. Okay, so Kate understands this. Okay. Let me see. So it's a little harder, Kate, obviously, when I don't have, you can see how much easier it makes it when I've got the connection with the voice. But I'm not having to go at you. I'm just trying to let you know. That's why it's coming through maybe a little bit slower. Okay, pet. Okay. Is one of her daughters around the age of 12 or 13, Kate, around that point? And if there is one of the girls that age, it's like she's shown me a girl that's either had her hair cut off or has been looking to have her hair cut off. So I don't know if you're still very close. Oh no, those girls were. I'm getting confused between the two now. Okay. But she keeps showing me a girl, and I want to say this girl is around the age of maybe 12 or 13. And I feel like she's given, okay, one has done that. I get it. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with what Shannon had said to me about that girl having kids, but this girl is showing me a young girl around that age and that she's given somebody a hard time wanting to get her hair cut and she's had it done. Okay, God bless her. And the only comment that she has, she's not saying it was the wrong decision. She just said it's like she became a grown up overnight. Okay. So she obviously looks much more mature with this haircut. Bless her. And her point in mentioning this is just so you know that she's around and that she sees these things going on. Okay. She's definitely not giving out about anybody getting her hair cut. Sorry, I'm laughing here, Kate. Kate, is it you that's supposed to be giving up smoking? It's like she's slapping somebody's hands and said, "You're not supposed to be smoking." And maybe you're not supposed to say. Okay. But she's definitely here giving encouragement that someone's supposed to be off the cigarettes. Okay. Kate says it is her. Oh, God bless her. And somebody has brought her yellow flowers recently. She shows me yellow flowers and she said someone has brought them for her recently and she's blowing kisses. So what she's trying to say with this is that people send her love, but she also sends love back. Okay. So the love doesn't stop. And when you give her love on this side, she feels it on the other side. Someone does to her grave. I'm sure they do. And maybe this was something for Christmas, but the point of the message is not necessarily the exact flowers, but that she can feel it when someone's sending her love over here. She feels it over there, and she's also sending love back through the kisses. Okay, she wants you to know that she's around. Sorry, she's making me cry now because she just said very clearly to me, she said, "Tell her that I'm in a better place." And she says that she's very sorry for the hurt she left behind, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she would choose to come back if she could. Okay. So she's okay. And I know Kate said she's so glad that she's happy. And just in case anybody's ever downhearted that their loved ones don't actually come out and say, "I'm happy," that's because they never want us to think that they're happier without us than they were with us. Okay. So if they were to say that they're happy in the spirit world, people would automatically take that, especially when we're grieving, we might take that to mean that they were never happy here with us. Okay. And that's never what they want us to think. Okay. So do know that she's sending the love, that she's healing, but she's definitely around the family. Okay. And she's blowing kisses. Now, one more thing that she's just making me feel before I let you go, Kate, I'm sorry. I do know that someone that she had previously leaned on, she tells me she felt stabbed in the back. Okay. But she says, it's like she's saying, don't hate on that person, that they had to look out for themselves too. So she's definitely not taking any resentment with her. Okay. And I'm not sure, is Kate gone? Okay. Okay, Kate's saying that she understands. Okay, sorry, Mary, I keep muting you because we're getting a lot of feedback from you. So thanks so much, Kate, for taking that. And I'm sorry it took me a few minutes to get the right person. And Shannon, I do apologize. I'm so sorry again. So Therese is asking that I mentioned earlier that their personality doesn't change, but if they suffered with mental health and addiction, are they free from all that pain and suffering and their personality? So their personality is not their suffering. Their personality is who they were. Okay. And addiction is just something that they had to endure. Okay. So their mental health and their addiction was their illness, if you like, but it's not who their personality was. Their personality is either shy or outgoing or humorous or sarcastic or, all those kind of things. Okay. The mental health and other things that is effectively their illness. Okay. Just letting you know, I contacted my dad after the reading. Everything you said about the old blue car was so accurate. He said he had one when he was younger and you described it to a T. Thank you so much. Kelly, thank you so much for acknowledging that for us, because it's very important for me as well. You know, I know people think when they hear me talking that I'm very confident, but I'm not. Okay, it's actually quite the opposite of who I am. I'm just able to talk, that's all. So it's really important for me to get those validations. So I appreciate that so much. And I hope your dad was able to take something from the fact that his father came through. Okay. Isn't that great feedback, Miriam? Absolutely. It's great to get it. So let me see if we can fit in one more quick one before we're cut off. Okay. Sorry, I know listening to me breathing and going isn't necessarily great listening, but sometimes it just takes a minute to make the connection. And of course, the tireder I get, the harder it can be to make the connections. But I do feel like I have a father coming through, and I feel like this father tells me that his relationship with you wasn't all that it should have been. Okay. Kelly saying everything was spot on. He had Robin following him everywhere today. So when he said he was around him, he was over the moon. Oh, thank you, Kelly. And tell your dad I said thank you so much too. He's obviously you know, very open to it, and I'm glad to hear it. So, you know, tell him to talk to his dad as if his dad was beside him, because he's listening. Okay. Yeah, I'm turning into a heavy breather, Helen. Okay. So somebody here, have you lost a dad? And I do feel like your dad would have been on the younger side, so maybe only mid to late 60s. Okay, which the closer I get to the big 50, I think it becomes younger and younger every day. And I do feel that he's telling us that his relationship with you may not have been all that it could have been. Okay, and that there may have been some distance emotionally for some time. Okay. Okay, Christina. So bear with me. I want to get a little bit more information. Okay. Now I do feel again like this man would have been a very sarcastic type of humor. Okay. And you know, one of these people that where humor is your go-to to hide how you're really feeling. I also want to say with this gentleman, I think he may have had a cancer before he left. Okay. Because I'm aware that he wasn't feeling well, and I'm also aware that he ignored it. Okay. And I feel like he's telling us, yeah, if you that like almost like he blames himself. Okay, now I don't think he should blame himself, but I do know that men don't seek medical treatment in time a lot of the time. Okay. So he does blame himself for that. And I do feel as well, sorry, he's making me emotional as well. This man, now I'm not necessarily saying that there was an issue with it. I know he liked to drink, okay? And I keep getting the impression that he always had a bottle hidden somewhere, okay? So he would have had his little, in July. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, say Christina saying it's 100% dad. So if both of you want to come on, I'm not sure, BVAIISSE, whoever that is, if you want to come on and we can investigate this a little bit more. I'll send you both invites anyway, and we'll see. Okay. So Christina, can you hear me? It says you're connected. Okay, Breed, your mic is not working. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to investigate it because I'll investigate it a little bit if Christina comes on, and we'll know if it's her dad or not. And that's the best way of finding it out. Okay, Christina, can you hear me? It says you're connected, but I don't see you connected. So maybe if you try disconnecting and requesting to come on yourself. Hold on, it says call in 3. What does that mean? Allow call in. Yes, I'm allowing a call in, but I don't see you coming on here, Christina. Are you able to connect with us, Christina? So far, everything resonates. Okay, so let me see if I can get some more from this gentleman. Okay. Right. Okay. So Christina's coming on. So we'll see if this makes sense to Christina or you. So, I don't know what I've done there. You've just disappeared for a second. I'm back. If something's making sense, please do comment, Breed. Okay. Hey,
Can you hear me?
Christina, how are things?
Good. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Are you frozen in that
Oh.
car yet?
Absolutely frozen.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Okay, so somebody else is saying that it could be their dad, but he was a bit older. Okay. And Christina, was your dad in his mid to late 60s?
Yes.
And did he have a cancer before he left?
Throat cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay. And he had a bottle hidden somewhere so he could take a little sip every now and then.
He was an alcoholic until I was 12, and he hid the bottles pretty much my whole childhood. But he stopped when I was 12, but he moved out and got help and stuff.
But this is a memory that you'd have of him.
Oh yeah, finding the bottles.
At least we saw that, and early enough, thankfully, that he was able to stay for a good while longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get more, because I know this is making sense to Breed, and there's also somebody else saying it's making sense, but her dad was a bit older. So let's try and get some more information from this gentleman. Christina, do you have a baggy brown jumper that belonged to your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I do. Because we're moving, we found all different stuff, and I hung it up. Yeah, I do. Oh my God.
Bless. It's okay. He just showed me the jumper. So I said, "Can you give me something that I should be able to connect with?" And he showed me the jumper. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now I know because you've just moved, and congratulations. You've only moved in the last week, haven't you?
Yeah, we're trying to get the house heated. It's an old house, and there's 2 foot of walls, and you can't get signal, and it's hard, but it's fun.
But you were doing it up, weren't you?
Yeah, we're trying. We're getting lots of insulation in and stuff, but it's great fun.
Of us. And did you get the floor down in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Now, sorry, something that he said there, and then I was talking and I talked across him. So I'm sorry. He's kind of given out to me and said, "Excuse me, I have a bit to say here." And he's a lovely man. Okay, he really, really is. He's quite tall, isn't he, Christina?
Yeah. He shrunk a little bit in his older age, but he was very tall growing up when I was growing up. Anyway.
He was overwashed. He might have put him in the dryer. Bless him. But he's just so nice. And like he gets really emotional when I hear your voice, so that's like resonating with him. And it's like he's saying, that's my girl. Are you one of 3 girls though, Christina?
I've 2 brothers from a previous marriage, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's 3 of you, but not necessarily 3 girls. Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now, I'm not trying to make something fit, but I still feel like he left 3 girls behind, which I was assuming to be daughters. Okay, so does he have granddaughters? Does he have a partner or wife? I don't need to know exactly what he has.
The 3 girls would be me, Mum, and my daughter Lily, who was 3 months old when he died.
Oh, God bless. Okay, so there he's 3 girls. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless. He wasn't going to let it go without acknowledging he's 3 girls, let me tell you. Okay. Is your daughter just 3?
Yeah, she's 4 on Saturday.
Oh, her little birthday. It's no wonder Dad's coming through. Okay, pet.
Oh my God, my heart's going 90.
Oh, bless. Your mother's been feeling a little under the weather recently, hasn't she? It's like he tells me that, now, again, this isn't medical advice. I'm not a doctor. If there's something wrong with Mum, she should always seek advice, okay? Yeah. But in Dad's opinion, he's telling me that she's stressing a lot and that she's manifesting a lot of physical symptoms for herself. And he tells me that she's always done this. Okay. Now he does give me a pain though down my left side with her, okay, kind of from under my boob right down my left hand side, and he says this is stress related. Okay.
Yeah, she
Um,
had breast cancer on the left and she lymph nodes and stuff like that.
okay. And maybe she's worried about something again, maybe coming back or something. I'm not sure, but this is where he gives me the pain. And he says, that she's not to be stressing. And he says, of all people, she would she'll never be on her own because she won't allow it. Okay, so he said tell her to stop giving the old bail booked. Okay, and for those of you who aren't in Ireland, the bail booked means the poor mouth. So it's what we say here in Ireland when someone is being a bit dramatic about something. Okay, do you use that down in Kerry as well, Christina?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh,
so,
stop.
so no poor mouth for ma'am. Um, he just wants me to pass on to you how proud he is of you. And he's telling me that you're actually making life happen for yourself. He said, you haven't sat down and waited for it. He said, I felt like I did that for a long, long time. And like my eyes are tearing up, and that's just a sign that his eyes are tearing up. And he just wants you to know that he is very proud of you. But he makes me feel like this move was a very brave thing for you and completely outside of your comfort zone. Okay.
Yeah.
And this means a lot to him. Okay.
Yeah.
And he keeps giving me the impression, and again, I don't know your dad, you would know his personality, obviously. He gave the big I am and I can do anything, and life doesn't scare me. When in fact it was quite the opposite. Every change in life scared the hell out of him. And he was so sensitive. I'm laughing too because he's telling me that some of his most personal possessions are being stored in a woman's handbag. Okay, so your man might have some of his belongings stuffed in an old handbag in the wardrobe, but he says my stuff is being stored in a woman's handbag, and he's trying to sound like aghast about it. How could this be such a manly man? But I'm aware that he's with somebody when she takes out this handbag and looks through all the little memories. Okay, he's really just trying to let us know that he's aware that his stuff is all being kept.
Yeah, and kept very carefully as well, because he was very proud of all of his antiques, and they're taking over half of the house.
Oh, bless. But I'm even just talking about, the littler things, like maybe his wallet, maybe a watch, maybe a hair comb, the smaller things.
Yeah.
Just kind of like inside, well, he called it a big purse, so I'm assuming he's talking about a handbag.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is lovely. Thank you, Sandie.
There's also there's some trouble with some water or some flooding at the back of your house. There seems to be a water issue that needs to be resolved.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if I'm standing at the front of your house but facing your house, okay, I want to say it would be the back side at the right-hand side of the house. Okay, in that corner, there's some issue with water or flooding or something like this. Okay. And he just says, don't leave it go on too long or it will cause problems. Okay, so this is something that you need. Like I don't know anything about it. Like, yes, I tell people we built this house, but I didn't physically hold a shovel. Okay. So like, it's like he's making me feel like there does need to be some digging done. So there may need to be a soakage pit or something put there. Okay.
Brilliant.
But it's,
Thank you, Sandie.
do you get what I'm saying about if I'm facing the house, it's the back right corner, that side. Okay. So just keep an eye there.
Oh no, I'll get my husband out with a shovel tomorrow.
Yeah. So Daddy said so. I think I'm going to have your husband on the phone. I might just turn my phone off tomorrow. Okay, so just before I let him go, okay, there is, what is that? It's like he tells me, like an old-fashioned address book. Okay.
Yes.
Before we had mobile phones, guys, and we stored all the numbers in the mobile phones, we used to have like little address books or whatever. And it's like he's making me feel that maybe some of his contacts that you have been able to use or will be able to use. So it feels to me like that he must still have a list of contacts at home, for doing work and stuff. Have you been using some of his old contacts for your work on the house?
No, but he was an antiques dealer, and I was trying to see could we get rid of maybe a few antiques. So I was looking through the book a couple of months ago. Because he had all these wheeler dealer men on it.
Book comes in. Oh, bless him. You should do like an online auction.
Yeah, well, I don't really know where to start with all this kind of carry on.
Oh, God bless you. Yeah, so you need to find someone. I don't know anything about antiques either. I'd love to help you at that, but if anybody knows anybody that's in the antiques business, you can send me the details and I will pass them on. But look, he just wants you to know that he's aware that you have been going through like his address book and his contacts, and that's okay with him because he said she's making use of my contacts, and he said, like this is okay, this is the right thing to do. Okay, this is probably an awful personal question to ask you, Christina. Maybe I shouldn't.
No, not at all. No, do anything.
Are you expecting?
Jesus, no way. No way.
He keeps showing me a baby and he keeps pointing at you. Okay, so
No way.
If this isn't something that you're in a position for, I'd say be very, very careful because Dad's sending this baby your way. Okay, and I think it'll be sooner rather than later. So, look, there's a lot of chemists in the country. You don't need me to tell you how to avoid that one. But he keeps showing me, and it's like he's bouncing this baby, and he says he's pointing and he's smiling, and he said he's on his way. He's on his way. So he's sending this baby down to you. Okay.
He was mad for a grandson.
Was he mad for a grandson?
Yeah, maybe and he kept bouncing Lily on his knee, my daughter, and he was like, "Oh, she'll have siblings now," and I was like, "No way, no."
Oh, bless! But she's very young, and I'm not going to say you have to have another baby, but never make the decision. It took us 8 years to have our second little man. But I said that I was never going to have another one after the first section, and then it took us 8 years of trying to have him. So we changed our mind. So it's your prerogative whether you will or you won't. So Avine is just asking me, but she says, while we're on the topic, could you remind me of the name of the crystal you suggested for infertility a couple of weeks ago on the podcast? Yeah, it was ruby zoisite. Okay, and was it Stephanie was in Spain and she was on to me and she was going to source some. Okay, so keep your powder dry on that one until we connect with her. She sent me a WhatsApp, so I'll get back to her and ask her if she's had any luck. I did source some. I was onto the supplier, and they were out of stock of a lot of stuff after Christmas, obviously, but they did have some pendants and some smaller stones in stock. So it doesn't matter how small or big the stone is, it will still work. Okay, Making a Saint moonstone is another good one for fertility. It wouldn't be the main one, but you can use it as well. I would suggest ruby zoisite though. That's the one that worked for me, which is why I suggested. So I can only give you the advice from experience. As I say, it took us 8 years and 6 miscarriages to have our little man. So I always say that I wouldn't have him without my ruby zoisite. So, and I have 7 clients who have also had babies after a period of infertility after getting themselves some ruby zoisite. So it's one that I can highly recommend. Okay, Christina, thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck in the house and get your husband to dig in tomorrow. We all want a picture. I'm joking. And thanks so much for enduring the cold in the car tonight, and get your Wi-Fi connected for next week. And we will talk to you all next week, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening into that. It'll give you some idea of the kind of information that Spirit can come through with. Okay. And I will see you guys same time next week. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Talk soon.
Discussing everything about the